Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started. We are going to do something a little different than what I had originally planned. I was going to go on to Blast today, but since it took way longer than I really anticipated to go over the mechanics of sequence alignment, today we're just going to do fun bioinformatics. Okay, so you'll need the PowerPoint, which has a tutorial in it, and then that data file. So if you downloaded the one on Tuesday, this file is in there, but you might as well just delete that and only take the P450 file. That's the one we're going to work on today. So just a little bit of background, in case you've never heard of a P450 gene. In almost all genomes, these are they encode a bunch of enzymes that on some level all do the same thing. They all catalyze oxidation, but they act on a huge variety of molecules. So they sort of have this core domain function, but they have proliferated. I mean, this is one of the reasons we think that they're such a big gene family, is that they've adapted to recognize different kinds of molecules and then oxidize those. So they have that core oxidative function, but then they recognize all kinds of different signal molecules. They're important and have gotten lots of attention because lots of drug metabolism depends on them. And so we know that, like, say, chemotherapy drugs, your P450 suite and the different variants you have in some of the P450 genes will determine how quickly you metabolize them or the kinds of side effects you'll have. Vitamin metabolism, some of the other stuff there, steroids and fatty acids also are affected. So lots of things in humans and human health have implications. But then they're not just big families in mammals. Insects, plants, fungi, these things have expanded in everything. More or less independently. Like, if you look in any clade, you're bound to find lots of recent duplicates and losses of other copies. The ones that we're going to look at today are from the beetle that I work in, Tribolium. These are a major stored grain pest, and so they have a long history of humans trying to kill them with pesticides. They have a huge, there are I don't think I kept up. This data set has 129 of them. I don't think it's even all of them. I think I might have taken half of them just so that it would run in a reasonable amount of time. You have a question? Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, and so a bunch of these we know are specialized to degrade pesticide. And so people want to understand them and then potentially modify them to make the beetles resistant, or take out the resistance to the pesticide, make them susceptible again. Just giving you a citation to a paper here, just more background about why these things are interesting. I didn't upload this one to Canvas, but you can go find it if you're interested. In P450 evolution. Lots of people study this. Whoops. What's going on? Okay. So, first couple steps, you've got the P450 FASTA file. Second thing is going to be to go to the GitHub repo for muscle. So remember, Muscle was one of the software packages I talked about on Tuesday. It's a multiple sequence alignment program. Muscle, MAFT, and Clustol are the three that get used the most often. So if you follow this link, it will take you to something that maybe, hopefully, is starting to look a little familiar, what a GitHub repo looks like. And make sure that you're getting the Linux version, because we're going to move this to Bridges and run it on the HPC in Pittsburgh. Okay. So clicking Muscle Linux x86 version 5.3 should download that for you. Nobody said, hey, we can't see what you're looking at. Following that link, hopefully everybody, it just worked so that you weren't puzzled by what I was talking about. So make sure you're getting this link, the one that says Linux. Okay, next step is going to be to log on to Bridges. And then you can start out by clicking on your home directory, but that's not where we want to put things. Right, because this is our login home. I've given you the path to your home directory on Oceans. This Ocean, remember, is the storage hardware, can't think of the word, at Pittsburgh, whereas Jet is sort of the main site. It doesn't have as much storage on it, so we don't want to store big data sets there. Not that this is a huge data set, but just to get in the practice. And so I'm just going to copy that path. And if you do change directory here, you can just paste that path in, except obviously you need to change the username to your username. And I hit enter, and it took a second, but then it filled the path, and now you can see it moved me. Yours is going to look different because you don't have all of this content already on Bridges. But once you're in your Ocean directory, now you can just drag and drop. So you should be able to drag the P450 file and the muscle file. So I've already done that. I can get rid of some of this stuff. I'm just deleting a few things to make it less confusing, so you know what you should have there. Right. So once you've moved it, you won't, yeah, there we go. Right. So you should be at this stage. And I'll wait a second just for everybody to catch up. Make sure, like, this is the end of the, step 2? Step 3? Yeah. Yes, it has that name, muscle-linux-x86.v5.3. You could rename that file if you wanted to. Muscle doesn't care. And the only reason I mention it is because when you look at the documentation for muscle, when it gives you a command that wants it to call the program, it just says muscle. But in your case, the name of the muscle program is muscle-linux-x86, like that whole thing. If you use tab complete, the extra letters and symbols don't really matter because you just mu tab and it fills it in for you. Yeah, so definitely raise your hand if you're not there or if you're having an issue so one of us can come around and help fix it, because, or your neighbor can help you fix it. If you want to work ahead, you can. Like if you're just sitting there twiddling your thumbs and you feel like giving it a go to work ahead of me, that's fine. Just keep tabs on where I am in case you get lost. How many have everything uploaded to Bridges? Raise your hand. Oh, good. Almost everyone. So you won't be able to execute muscle by default because, so let's, next step, right? That step 4 says make muscle executable. Actually, yeah. I'm just curious if you can do it from there. No, that's going to bring up the text editor. So how do we make that executable? I mean, I gave you the code, but how do we get to enter that code? Yep, you have to go to the shell. So everything we do from here on out is going to be at the Unix command prompt. The quickest way to get to the Unix command prompt and stay right here in this directory is this button right here that says Open in Terminal. So if you click that button, it will open the Linux terminal and it's going to put you in that directory. So you don't have to navigate to Ocean again. I am, yes. Right, so I have so much stuff in there that I have this muscle alignment folder. Yours will just be your username probably, Or maybe a tilde?
Yeah, mine's just my username.
Yeah.
But I was just concerned that I didn't know mine.
No. Yeah. So the prompt there, just orientation. This was way back from when we first got on Bridges. Has my username that I'm on Bridges2, and then the node that I'm logged into, and then the folder that I'm in. So it might look a little bit different. Certainly the username is going to be different, and you might not even be on the same login node as me. So how do I look at everything that's in this directory with its permissions listed? What if I said, how do I list everything in this directory? LS will list it, but it won't show me the permissions.
So if we get a message saying that it can't authenticate the server, we just proceed anyway?
Yes. So ls-l, the -l flag will tell it to list it this way instead of just the names of the files. Okay, so I've got now I already executed the chmod +x, so yours probably doesn't look like this if you haven't run that command yet. Yours probably just says rw and then a bunch of dashes maybe. And so what you need to do then is type that command that's on the PowerPoint there, chmod +x, that's going to say give executable permission. And then if I just give it the file name and I'm mus and I hit tab, it auto completes the rest of the name. Okay, so no typos. And then I hit enter. Yours should change now, and the shortcut for ls-l, it actually works on Bridges. If I just do ll, okay, and so now yours should look just like that. One of them. You don't actually have two. Why do you think there's two? Oh, this was, I did list once, and then listed those, and then I did the chmod, and then I did LL to show it again.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's just, it didn't change on mine because mine, I didn't.
I just want to make sure.
Yep. Yep. Any other questions to this point? Okay, so this is a little bit of a big step. Muscle's documentation is really good, and Muscle is really simple to run, so I didn't just write it out for you. So what I want you to do here is open a text document and put together the command line that you're going to enter on the shell, okay? So the Muscle documentation, how do we get there? I didn't leave the link there. It's okay. Not hard to find. I'm just going to Google muscle alignment. And then this is the GitHub repo, so that would take us back there. It's not straight to the documentation. So I'm going to click this muscle drive 5. I know that that's the right one. You might not, but it would only take you a couple clicks to figure it out. And that's why I'm here, right? Save you the clicks. So that takes you to this page, which is what's on the slide. So you're going to click documentation, and that's going to give you an option for making alignment and assemblies, because we've already downloaded and installed it. I saved you having to read that page. Thank me later. And this is it. So first pass, like, you could just copy paste this line right here, and it will run as long as you rename the input file. The make alignment and I can't read that. Make alignment and assemblies. Ensembles, not assemblies. Very different things. And again, so if you look at the muscle documentation, it says you can run that if you just want one high quality multiple sequence alignment. It says if you run it and it works for you, then you're done. Okay. If that's too big, then it has a faster algorithm. I showed that in the graph. If you remember that dot plot that had two, like it had one green set of dots for muscle, and then it dropped down in the time range, and I said that's which algorithm it runs. Okay, so we're going to run the default algorithm, which is better but slower because we have so few sequences. Like 129 is really not that many in the grand scheme. So I'm telling you, there's no way for you to have known that from the documentation. I'm saying from experience, I know this is going to run in a reasonable amount of time that we can do it in class. So we can just use the -align. You do not have to use Super 5.
Do we need to be in an interact session?
That's step 6. Yep.
Okay.
So, yeah, unfortunately that doesn't blink. And that's why I said open a text document and design your command prompt in that. I do not want you to execute. You should not execute this while you're still on the login node, okay? So, to run, you think you've got your command line, then raise your hand and one of us can come check it out, and then you can move on to step 6. I want you, because we're not going to assume that muscle does a good job with all default parameters, okay? So I want you to actually follow the next, so I just scrolled down the page a little bit. It says how to check your alignment if your alignment has errors, okay? So we're going to make a stratified ensemble by including this stratified flag. So make sure that your command line looks like this, except that it has the correct input file. And you can name the output file whatever you want to. I highly recommend you keep the extensions the same. So the .efa. Yes, but the last thing, so if you're working ahead, you've already got to this point, make sure that you also include -threads 64. So, how many of you are already, you've got this part? Okay, so if you're past it, worry about that in a minute.
Yeah, so right now it says you're on like the login node right here, and so if you were to go back to one of the earlier lectures, he talks about how initially when you log into the HCC, everybody's on the login node, but
Go back to your on-demand dashboard.
in order to actually like do the like computational, you need to move on to a different like computer, and so you can do that by first typing in interact, and that will assign you to computing node where you can do like all the high performance stuff on. Otherwise, like this login node is just where like you can set up and install programs, and if everyone were running the programs on the login node, then it would become like it just wouldn't work. Like it would slow everybody down. So it's important that first you type in interact, it'll assign you to computing node, and then you can run the commands.
Well, so what I want to see is that you
Interact.
named the input file correctly, and then you've included the stratified flag, and then the threads flag is the last one. So, and then like put that in a text file so that you can just copy paste it into your terminal when you're ready.
Wait, I don't know what I just did. Is this what I was supposed to do? An interact session right here?
Yes.
So I would just
You have your command line already ready to go. Put a space after the S in the thread.
Oh, yes.
I see.
And when you start to interact, oh wait, that's not gonna work because muscle, remember the file naming thing?
I never know how to fix it.
So it's gotta be your whole file name.
So you just do dot slash and it says look for it right
So you
here.
just type in.
And then start.
Okay, so now the alignment is working.
No, this
So
is just the help.
actually, yeah.
I always just run
paste
dash
that
H to make
command line
sure everything's working.
Yeah.
So it's working, so now you can run the alignment.
Okay, so this is just a look for
The dot slash, yeah. And then this is what your executable is.
Okay.
So
I won't do that.
Yeah, I was gonna say
You would-
tab all
Oh, I
the way back
will.
to muscle.
Yeah, cause I don't know.
Oh.
And then hit tab, yeah.
I'm sure there's a reason, I just don't know it.
Oh, all that stuff happens. So that's why I was gonna say, like, delete that. Yeah. Yeah, and then only copy the second.
You'll do the P450.
I did that right. Well, I didn't. Well, let's test it.
The file name, you have to actually
Okay,
tell
so I
the
put
file.
that in
Oh, I
here,
see.
but I accidentally forgot to do change. So.
Oh, you need a space after that.
So your earth commands right. Yeah, the only thing is, yeah.
Double check for you. I just don't remember. Like,
So the only thing is you might have to use dot slash. Yeah,
is
and that's your actual.
I have the
Alright, we run that just to make sure I know what I'm doing.
Alright, then you- yeah,
Now
please
you
try to
have
find
the rest of yours checked, so you should be good.
So like
Yep.
interact.
there we go. So sorry. There are other people who have this.
So I press this.
Yes, yeah, and this one is correct, the top one.
So you have to do that from now.
So then you put this part or
So
this
if
one?
you right click on open on title,
But you don't need the muscle command, you just need after the align.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Correct.
then if you have the power.
Zoom to the rescue.
Yeah.
So
I talked to Dr.
Yeah.
Said I
So
could
if
put
you
the
can hold it
muscle
down,
right here,
that's what I'm
and then I
saying.
put the line.
Yeah, that was right.
After, but it says,
Yeah, so.
sometimes it gets unhappy.
PowerPoint.
I don't have the muscle yet.
Sometimes it just needs that dot slash to tell you where it is. It's running. It's running. Okay. Yeah, you're good. So
So-
just put that in.
Did you need?
So first in the interaction. So go to.
Oh, no, because it's in your interact. That's different. You don't have to put that in your.
You're almost there.
Okay.
Step 6 will tell you how to start the interact session.
I think you're fine. It's running, right?
It's doing something.
So, yeah, for you. I'll be there. And all you're gonna add here is the right pendulums. I love it how that whenever I have my that. And this is just telling me that you can like run it.
Okay.
So it runs faster.
Okay.
Yeah. What's up?
Is it working?
Yes.
I checked that it's there, it's there.
Yeah.
And I get the.
It's just that, like, it doesn't, muscle isn't what it's called. It's muscle slash
Exit the interact.
X.
Oh, so,
Back.
oh, so I have to put this in the.
Yeah. Except for the first one. And then make sure you add the thread 64 to that.
And where
That's why I like zone.
Yeah, whatever. You'll just add it
And
to
then
like
do dot //
No, it's so dash threads.
And then muscle.
Once you put in your output.
Run this.
So, yeah, because you didn't put in something for, like, you need to put in an output.
Output is in this.
Like, you need to specify what you want your output to be called.
Output, oh, like.
Alignment or whatever the hell
I
you
know,
want.
this is what was supposed to happen. So, okay.
And dots.
It's already down from module, so I go, actually, I don't need to.
Nope.
Into here.
So you have
Oh, this is the old stuff.
okay. Do you have the PowerPoint? Because
Yes.
that might be so
So-
you.
Yeah, there you go.
So sorry.
And then at the end of the line, dot faster. You'll do dash or threads.
Okay, I see that.
Okay, so let me say this again.
Sweet, good job.
For those of you who are trying to put the command line into the terminal as you derive it, and then hit enter and it doesn't work, if it works, you did something very naughty. Okay? You ran it on the login node. If this right here says login, do not execute muscle on that login node, because I will get nasty emails from Pittsburgh saying stop letting your students run alignment on the login nodes, right? Because it slows down the machine for everybody else who's logged in everywhere, okay? So, I mean, this is one of those few times where I'm saying don't play with it. Right? Most of the time, I encourage you to play with it. Not this time. Okay? That's why the PowerPoint has it as blinky. Okay?
Okay, so this is the program that you're calling, right?
Yes, fish.
But like, I don't think you're gonna be able to just call it just
I bet you are. I was like, another wedding event. I'm like, focused on September,
and then this is like a file that you're
way. Oh, absolutely. Dude, I'm exhausted. I'm like, dude, let me be.
Is your cousin Ethan at least having fun?
She's having so nice. Because she's not, like, she's not in school.
Oh, yeah.
And then she's planning all her events during the week when I have school.
Which is so inconvenient for you.
Like, could you have gotten married when I do what you do?
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah.
You need to get rid of those.
But the reason why I was telling you about why each one of these,
I thought you remember that.
why like telling me what each one of these means is because like you are essentially so like every program that you ever run, like you're gonna tell it the input and sometimes you will tell the output. But like
So if you go onto the PowerPoint, it has the path for you. Right, projects bio 2011p/username. So
that's my understanding. You're still on the login there, correct? Yeah, and so let's go back to the PowerPoint. So you manage people, the telling you. You made a whole bunch of stuff over the last week. No, the PowerPoint says but when I space because you're the I can try. So are you in the other? Are you in the like other?
So press tab.
Are you in the
Like
like?
do the dot slash.
So yeah, so just do the interact code.
And then
I just go to the.
Yeah, so type in interact.
So I would just be aware that when you
It's not finding it, right? Because you have to
And then space dash net and then space 64.
muscle. It's like, let me try this.
And give it a second.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
you just had to add the function for it. That's all. So that's what the stage mod
So
does.
whenever you log in, everybody
stats
can log in.
So now you can go
Where you do like certain things for them to get onto the computing node, you either submit an SBAT.
Alright, so now it's going to tell you the other interact. So you get to do dot slash groups. Yeah, so that's exactly the code. Just copy and paste that line. Yeah, that whole line you're just gonna copy and paste. Yep. And try that. So if you have to reset it, you'll have to go to the PSC password change utility, and then I think you should have to go. I don't know. But it definitely fill it in.
So it might just have to be dot slash. So dot slash. That, all that does is it tells you.
Okay, I'm gonna move on just because I see some people's already running and some people are waiting for me to move on. So I'm gonna go to the next step and we'll keep coming around, so don't freak if you're falling behind. Okay, so
Now, if you already have this done, you really don't need to. So you need to do the interact dash 64.
okay, so I've got muscle couple people got tripped up that I saw already. Ooh, so I'm gonna do my own thing that I said was naughty. So I forgot to start my interact session first, right? So I type interact -n. That says the number of tasks I want to be able to run simultaneously, and this drastically speeds up muscle because this is the only way to multi-thread in an interact session. Next week in Blast, we'll learn how to like really make this big, okay? But this is the max we can go on an interact session. Okay, so then you're gonna have this little pause while it goes and looks and tries to reserve those resources for you. So it's looking on the RM shared node usually, or partition, not node. So it's waiting for some resources. Hey, Adam.
Yeah.
He's got his hand up.
Yeah, so you need to, so if you go to the PowerPoint. He tells you, no, right there.
Okay, I got lost in everything because I had issues with passwords and everything. Because for whatever reason, PSC did not remember my password, so I had to reset it. I've already entered in the code.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it's showing me. What is
Entered in what code?
I already entered that.
Okay, so you made it executable?
Yes.
Okay.
That's where I'm at now.
Can't read.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, so that didn't work.
It didn't
right?
work.
No. So this notation says you got to input the file name.
Okay.
So yours is called muscle something. So MU tab. Okay. So now it worked because I got no error message. If I do LL now, it turns green because it's got the executable permissions.
Okay.
So now you're on to the next step.
Okay. I wasn't sure what I was
Yep.
doing. Because it
The
wasn't.
next step is to try to figure out how to run muscle. So that's where Google Muscle Align. So I don't know what browser window you want to use.
So that's this.
That's
thing?
this. So how you get to that page is you have to Google.
Muscle align.
Mm-hmm.
This used to be a touchscreen. Muscle align.
Scroll down. There, it's that one.
Drive 5.
Mm-hmm. And then documentation, and then making alignments and ensembles, and that's how you. So then.
Okay. Thank you.
There are no more interact nodes available for us. I'm. That's like it's just hanging there. Anybody else having this problem? Did you already run yours? It already finished? The second one?
There are two commands that you said. First line and then there's the second one.
Oh, so you're on the fast stat and max CC? Those? No, it's a command in muscle. That's what I meant by, that's why I was Basically doing the alignment 16 times.
I saw that he got that. I saw the I've never wrote that.
Okay, that's okay. Thank you so much. I'm not realizing that.
So this is part of muscle toolkit. So if you go to the
Oh, I know.
channel something, 61. Something you're missing on this stuff.
So you're,
Able to run the EFA stats command. We looked at the documentation of studies. Do I just
Except the file name won't be right.
so I would just make my alignment aspects rather than
Let me see your directory. So that's your output. And did you run it with Stratified? It looks like you did not run it with Stratified in there. So it's not going to be able to do e-stats, I think. Actually, I don't know if it will or not. But e-stats is meant to do it when you've run the Stratified. So I can't show you because I can't get on the machines.
Oh, is it slow?
Because we're hogging all the resources.
I know I already asked you this, but just because like I see all the students putting in the command, because on the PowerPoint there's an arrow that's pointing to the command on muscle 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so
It's meant to just be pointing to the page.
okay, all right, for sure, yeah. But the actual one you want is the one with the stratified option in there, right?
Yep.
Okay, all right.
Would I in the Stratified, because I already aligned, I made an alignment output, would I put alignment output?
No, so this is going to be P450.fastday, and then rename your output file something.efa.
Okay.
Could be output EFA, ensemble EFA, P450 EFA, whatever. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm waiting for my interact session to start. So apparently something that people are leaving out is they're just running that top line. You need to go down to the, in the documentation, right? I was saying how you need to be able to check your alignment for errors. If you just run the top one, it's just going to give you the best alignment, and you're not going to know if that's any good or not. Okay? Well, I mean, we'll look at them afterwards. So, this is the command line that you want to be mimicking. Okay? So the one that has stratified included. This is your input file, so it needs to be p450.fastday. Your output file name can be whatever you want, .efa. So you can keep it ensemble.efa, that will work. Okay? You can call it p450.efa, as long as that you know this is the ensemble file. What this does is, if you remember from Tuesday, talked about how progressive alignment works. The third stage of muscle is to chop the tree up and realign with different partitioning in the tree. What Stratified will do is do the best alignment it can, then it'll chop the tree differently, or it will shuffle the branches and realign. what this does is it gives you the pattern across different permutations of the tree to see if you might end up with a better alignment for some of the trees. So in effect, what including the stratify does, it's going to do this alignment 16 times. And then it will allow us to get the statistics for how consistent is every column across all of those alignments. To tell you which sites can you be really confident that are well aligned. Okay. So it's important that you're including that stratified part.
Yeah, it has. You have to create the thing and
this is a program that you're calling is muscle, right? And so,
How many of you are having trouble getting an interact session?
so I would
Just
try to
hung up.
excuse me.
I saw yours running earlier though.
Next up on
Yeah, but I had a typo, so I had to like
and then
delete it and then run it again.
the endings.
Okay.
Oh, now it's running for me.
You got in?
So Dr. Damon, so you haven't run yet the fast stack or the max CX or CC, right?
I haven't been able to get an interact session at all yet. So
But once you're in that, do you
Or are you
copy and paste the whole thing, or do you have to change something? Like from the line that it gives you on. Sorry, I thought it would be an easier question. I didn't mean to throw it out here.
so you just have to tell it the right file name.
Okay, I probably just made a little typo. Is it because oh my gosh, okay, thank you. So now I have you. Is there a way then, because like the reason I keep making those mistakes is like I don't understand how to only change this, like to get that. Is it this? Oh, I see. You keep saying okay, so now I'm running it again.
Literal class.
It won't, but I would probably
Yeah,
try
so,
to.
but your file name is probably not the person.
I would not.
It's not, it's muscle. I have to rerun it because I did.
Yeah, I gotta rerun it.
Is this open file?
So whatever you named your .efa, just change the work to .efa.
Why do you need to put it?
So just run it with that stratified.
Over here. I never said I don't get run. And then first no, you have to do this. Yeah, that is, I know this.
Oh, hey, I got on.
Yeah.
So you can always tell, in case you hadn't noticed, like this now, instead of saying login with some number, it says R with some number. So that tells me I'm on an actual production node. All the production nodes at Pittsburgh are R and some number.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. I felt it going before I tried to sit down. It's like, these wheels need brakes. Okay. So make sure I'm in the right directory. There's my stuff. Dot/. Okay. So for anybody who has not run the stratified program or run the command with stratified yet, this is what it looks like. That's my muscle command. And then I say align this input file, and I want to do stratified so that it does the permutations. And then the output, I want that to be written to, in this case I said P450-ENS. That just tells me P450 ensembles.efa, okay? So when I hit enter, you'll see it start running. Oh, what I forgot. Okay, I'm gonna kill it by Control C. I forgot to do threads 64. So if you don't do that, some of these steps will take minutes instead of seconds. And it's the other thing, like just so I can everybody give me attention for a second? I know you're all different places, but this one's pretty important for big picture. Hey Zoe. I just want everybody to be able to hear this one. So the class has an allocation, right? So we have a certain amount of compute hours on the machines. When you start an interact session, especially if you say I'm going to use 64 cores, you start burning that time, whether you're running anything or not, okay? So if in this case, I reserved 64 cores. I start burning time at a multiple of 64. If I'm not doing anything, it's burning them. If I forget to put thread 64, it's gonna take not 64 times longer, but a lot longer. I'm still burning time at a multiple of 64, even though I'm not using 53 of those cores, okay? So it's relevant to your projects at the end of the semester being able to get done using our time efficiently and not burning it unnecessarily. That's why the last step, the step after everything runs, is exit your interact session. So just as important as logging into the interact to get it going is quitting it. Because if you just close your laptop and walk away, it's going to keep burning at a multiple of 64. Now, it kills it after an hour by default, so it's not going to just drain the account. But there's no reason to burn all that time if you're not using it, okay? So just wanted everybody to log that somewhere in memory so that we're not wasting time on the machine, okay? All right. No. So some commands are not able to multi-thread. And some are so fast it doesn't matter, okay? But big analysis like this, where it's going to run that alignment 16 times, if it takes 2 or 3 minutes per alignment and you run that 16 times, that's a decent chunk of time. So like this will be done in 2 minutes instead of 30 minutes. Okay. So mine is on 7 of 16.
So it looks like you did it correctly. Yeah, so now it's.
You have a space after P450. You keep moving the space around. First it was before the dot, then it was after the dot. But in your file name, there's no space.
Okay.
Anytime you put a space in the command line, it's reading it as another item before this.
Okay, and then.
So I accidentally ran, I started running this one again, so I ended it because I already did it, I didn't realize I was doing it again. But then when I tried to do the next step with the fast stats one, it says that they're not aligned. Is that because I ran it twice?
Yeah, you don't have to.
Can you do less on the log?
How long does that take? I don't know.
Yeah, because that second round of stratified got killed, and it was overwriting. Because it seems like you had it with the same name. Since it was overwriting, it probably halfway through one of those.
Got it. Okay. So now I have to
Run stratified again.
okay.
I didn't have to do it.
Thank you.
That's my bad. I was like, I've never done that, so.
So it's running it.
It's all right. This is new. This is first time for the
Yeah.
PAs to do it this way too.
Have we started this part yet?
So you'll do that after you have the stratified alignment.
Okay.
And remember, it's in the muscle
Okay, so I'm
modification.
trying to
Okay.
stratify and it keeps not working. I think I'm not taking advantage of it.
So you don't have to issue a file. What do you want to align?
I kind of aligning the segment, right?
That's the program that's doing the aligning.
Okay, so then, I would say it's the P450.
I'm just gonna.
So if I change that to, so where it says C, that's what I'm doing. No.
Your line is assigned. Yes. No. And then maybe.
Okay, do I need to get rid of this?
Come on.
Yes.
Oh, you need it on flash. Hit the up arrow and then just.
Oh, I read about that. Okay, so I can go over. I don't know what's in the dot slash or just like. Okay, and do I need to save this?
So no, that's gonna work now, except same thing I did by accident with threads, or thread dash thread.
I just want to ask you, where do you
It doesn't really matter, but just put it at the end.
So it'll be whatever your output. But you might have to, yes, whatever your output was.
And do I need to do that every time or just?
So from your last run, so when you aligned it, this was your output,
Like when
right?
you do
Alignment
these
dot
stats
process.
or
So I'm pretty sure that's what you're putting in.
And you said equal threads.
Just a dash.
Dash. Dash.
So your output is alignment dot process. So that's what you keep putting in for the ESA. Once it's ESA.
Yep.
So otherwise, we're doing something.
Great, make sure you exit out of your.
Yes. I've never had. So just try to keep trying.
Oh, you do like a folder thing? Yeah, I want
Try it again. Just gave mine up.
So whenever you're running a program, there are inputs.
You got in? So she took the one that I gave up. That came up after I hit exit. So after it finished the stratified, it just gave me the prompt back. And then I hit exit to give up my interact session.
So this is, you're running the same exact command as the manager. The only difference is that instead of increasing this muscle, you're this right here because that's the name of the file that you're trying to pull.
Okay, so I'm gonna Okay, anybody get to this stage? I'm going to keep going just so that it's in the recording for the lecture. And, you know, if you're hung up because the interact session, you can go back through this and hopefully walk through it on your own. So on the PowerPoint, right, I'm on step 7. I already exited my interact session, which you do not have to do. So if you're watching this on the recording, I exited, so I'm doing this on the login node, which shame on me. I just know these are going to run fast and it like nobody's going to care. Okay? Don't do it. Don't do what I do. Do what I say. Okay? So that was eFast stats. And what this is telling me is, like, the most important one, the one that we're going to use for extracting information, is the column confidence. So higher numbers are better. These are not great numbers. You'll see later why that is. But this is an interesting table that you might assume means something. But what does it mean? I say use ChatGPT to find out. So copy that output, go to ChatGPT. Whoops, I don't want to leave that. I want a new window. I'm going to say this output is from muscle. Help me interpret it. Actually, I'm going to even tell it what program ran it. Muscle eFast. Okay. Interpret. And of course, I could say, go look at the Muscle 5 documentation and try to figure out what the tables mean, or go to the original publication. But we live in the generation of ChatGPT, which knows everything, if it's in print anyway. And so it tells you what all those columns mean, how to interpret the numbers that are in it, how you might want to use it to evaluate. It can even tell you which one you ought to prefer based on the standard metrics, okay? What I tell you to do next in the PowerPoint is to use the function maxcc, which is essentially what ChatGPT would probably tell you to do. Extract the alignment that has the best column confidence. So I'm going to go back here. Instead of running eFastStats, I'm going to run maxcc. Okay. And I don't want to overwrite that. I'm going to say P450 maxcc. Whoops. I have to tell it the output file. I got that backwards. So this is the input file. Run maxcc on that. And then my output file, P450 underscore maxcc. Actually, I'm going to call this is just going to be an alignment. Curious. So I'm back at the muscle documentation, and if you go to commands, you can see, obviously I forgot that part of it. Right. So it uses AFA. The extension doesn't matter. You just know that it's. So what's in the EFA file? The alignments, yeah. It's got all 16 sets of alignments. And so that table, the eFastStats, gave us a summary. If you compare those 16 sets of alignments to say, what's the confidence, given those permutations, that any of these alignments are any good, okay? Now, maxcc is going to extract the set of alignments that have the maximum confidence, okay? So using that maxcc command is what I'm doing here. So I'm going to output that just to keep it consistent there. Okay. So that's super fast. Now I've got my original sequences, my stratified, that's my permutations of the alignments. Then I've got the MaxCC, which just has the best one. And you should have, you know, a way to check and see whether everything's okay to this stage. Compare the file sizes of what you have to what it's showing here in my browser. Should be similar. So next step, download and view your best alignment. Let's go here. So this is back in the file browser on Bridges. They don't show up, I have to refresh. You can exit your Interact session at this point if you're up to this stage. So I need to download that one. So download my best alignment. There we go. Okay, next step. So it says download and view. The next slide gives you a link to the NCBI alignment viewer. That will take you to this page. We're going to click upload data file and then browse our machine for that. So pick my P450. It says P45. Apparently I missed a 0 there, or the O. And upload. I just let it auto-detect a format. It doesn't get this wrong. Anybody looked at it? What format we're in? Amino acid or DNA? Amino acid, yeah. Okay, so then after that goes gray, we can click close, and there's our alignment. So it's a lot of sequences. Cool things about this, right? Your FASTA file doesn't have hyperlinks in it, right? But because we have NCBI accession numbers as in our headers for the FASTA, the NCBI browser automatically recognized them and populated it with hyperlinks. So I can link out to the NCBI entry for any of these. This looks gray because it's zoomed so far out. We're looking at over 4,000 amino acids. The little zoom button here lets you zoom in. So now you can start to see it color-coded. Color codes the amino acids. You can also use this little thing up here. So let's say we want to look at this region over here. I can zoom in just to that region. And so that bar across the top is showing you where I have sequence alignment, and the white space is where there's nothing. Those are gaps. And so you might say, if this is in alignment, why are these big chunks where there's nothing there? Well, that means that somewhere down here, I'm going to zoom back out just so we can see more of the sequence, right? You can see this sequence right here. It filled in that space. That's why it had to insert this big gap here. And this is the real variation in the P450 gene family. These are a nightmare to align well. But that's real data. This is the kind of stuff you will see if you do this for a living. Or in your projects later in the semester. Yeah, sorry it went long. Now, the first assignment, which seems like this will be the only assignment because we're out of time, is if you click to link to view, this is the link that you're going to upload. So you just copy paste that into Canvas. Okay? Okay. So we're out of time, so I'll just cut it off there. And at the end, the very last slide is the assignment. So the first one is submit the NCBI alignment viewer for that muscle alignment. So we just finished that, okay? If you want to try to work through the rest, great. We'll pick up there on Tuesday. No, I'll take that off the assignments.